Okay. Are we... Let me see. We good? So now it works. You gotta love that. Gotta absolutely love that. Okay. What's up? YouTube being stupid as shit. That's what's up. It was labeling the stream as like upcoming, even though I had it running. And I was like, oh, you need to use some of your stream key. It's your stream key, and it's like, no, it isn't. The exact stream key I have pasted into my OBS is exactly what I use. What I was using, so I had to reset it, do it again. That didn't work, so I had to just fucking do it again. It was a whole thing. But we are here now, and we're all liking the stream, of course. Because what else are we gonna do if not like the stream? In these trying times. I believe Vosh is live. Oh shit, I'm getting fucking hell of you cucked. That hurts. Okay, that hurts. It is what it is, so I don't care. I mean, I do care, but not as much as I could. Okay. Regardless, do kind of want to go through this quickly. Today's topics. Mostly just because if I'm keeping it 100, I kind of want to go to sleep a little early. Not go to sleep. I want to get off stream a little early because I have some things to do later tonight, and then I'm probably gonna go to sleep early after that because I'm tired. But it's mainly just trying to get back adjusted into the whole streaming thing, so I don't want to go for too long. It's a whole thing. It's weird having lights in my face again, especially when I haven't for like a while. And then like the sustained talking, I'm usually very decent at it, but it is a skill, and it's one that I haven't really been doing as much as often as I used to. And then the looking into the camera thing, that is it is an interesting way to speak. But regardless, Phil had better takes than Horseman. Honestly, Voss chat's so toxic, good they aren't here. We don't have a lot of community overlap, because I was not in Voss's orbit at all. Okay. So I think if we're starting this off nice, quick, and in a hurry, even after our little hiccup, we have some stuff to talk about. Also, yes, I pre-watch, because why would I not? So, a game that I really, 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 really love is the political simulator slash kind of, I guess you could say, visual novel from Torpor Games known as Suzerain. It is an incredibly good game. You play as the elected president of a country that is in the middle of an economic crisis, still reeling from basically having a dictator in a way for 20 years. Even if he technically wasn't a dictator and he got voted out, he had the cult of personality of one, and also the political power of one. And one of the things that he did while in power was put a bunch of people who are extremely loyal to him on the Supreme Court of that country. It's a group of people who are, despite being on the Supreme Court, the highest court in all of Swordland, which is where the game takes place. Play Suzerain. It is incredibly good. But despite being on the highest court of the land, these people are extremely corrupt. Extremely corrupt. They engage in crime often. They directly conspire to basically get you to use emergency powers so that you don't change the Constitution. It's really screwy. This game sounds amazing. It is. It is a great game. And I'm saying this as someone who is very discerning when it comes to my political simulators. Suzerain is a great game. Why am I talking about Suzerain, though? Well, for the first time in forever, it seems, our Supreme Court is going through some stuff. So, for reference, two members of this Supreme Court that we have in the United States of America, Justice Samuel Alito and Justice Clarence Thomas, are... how do I put this? Not very bueno dudes. Clarence Thomas has essentially been a sugar baby for a rich billionaire who often has cases come about the Supreme Court. He did not recuse himself from any of those cases. For many of these things, he did not even disclose the fact that he had received gifts from this billionaire, Harlan Ellison, and that absolutely, more likely than not, affected his judgment on these cases due to his personal relationship and him receiving gifts from Harlan Ellison. That's a major issue. With Samuel Alito, you have a similar issue where he has been wheeling and dealing, apparently, with billionaires, if I'm remembering correctly. I believe it will be brought up in the clip that we're about to watch. But wheeling and dealing with billionaires, you also have the additional issue of Alito, and in particular his wife, having some beliefs. If his wife more so than the man Alito himself, at least as far as we can tell, which includes flying the American flag upside down, which has some rough associations, especially with people who were tied heavily to January 6th. Similarly to the wife situation, if you go to Clarence Thomas's wife, Jenny Thomas, she is heavily involved in January 6th proceedings. She was apparently, if reports are correct, involved in trying to get the election overturned herself. Not necessarily in the way that other people were, but she was absolutely in that camp, which makes it so that whenever January 6 cases come to the court, Justice Thomas has a vested interest. He should recuse himself. He shouldn't be ruling on those cases because he has a conflict of interest. Something that both Justice Alito and Justice Thomas have failed to do. It is for this reason that a representative from New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is bringing articles of impeachment against Justice Thomas and Justice Alito, which we will watch now.
Shadow organizations a party before the court and one count of.
So we get the playback speed normal. Okay, here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to introduce articles of impeachment against Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas and Samuel Anthony Alito, Jr. Against Justice Thomas, the resolution includes three. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to introduce articles of impeachment against Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas and Samuel Anthony Alito, Jr. Against Justice Thomas, the resolution includes three total articles. One count of failure to disclose financial income, gifts, reimbursements, property interest liabilities, and transactions, among other information, and two counts of refusal to recuse from matters concerning his spouse's legal and financial interests before the court. The second resolution includes the following impeachment articles against Justice Alito. One count of refusal to recuse from cases in which he had a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party before the court, and one count of failure to disclose financial incomes, gifts, reimbursements, property interests, among other information.
So really, that is the meat of what is going down here. And you can watch the clip for yourself. It's on C-SPAN. It will be in the link of this video's... Damn, I really haven't done this in a while. It will be in the description of this video, the link to this. So what is this going to do realistically? Well, I'll tell you what. Currently in the United States House of Representatives, I believe the Republican Party is ruling with a one-seat majority. One seat to make them all. And when it comes down to this kind of majority, what does it mean? It means that it is unlikely that these articles of impeachment are going to be really going anywhere. And the reason why I say this is that even if it did pass in the House of Representatives, these articles of impeachment, they would have to go on to the Senate, where... Listen, people, the Senate is where impeachments go to die. No, Listen, even if it gets through the House, the Senate is going to strike it down, due to the nature of the Senate and the way that it's currently made up. So you may be saying to yourself, what's the point? What is the point of doing this? What is the point of bringing articles of impeachment against justices of the Supreme Court for committing actions that are tantamount to corruption? Is it just due to the principle of the matter? In part, but that's not the only reason. The fact of the matter is, we are getting to a state now in the United States of America where the actions of the Supreme Court and the rulings of the Supreme Court have created a situation where a body that has largely been considered nonpartisan, at least for a majority of my lifetime, even with appointments from the Republican Party, notably under Trump, who got 3 justice appointments. Trump appointed a third of the Supreme Court. It was still seen as relatively moderate and potentially level-headed on some issues. That was until the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe v. Wade. And ever since then, we've seen public sentiment against the Supreme Court grow. Impeaching the Supreme Court will not do anything to remove Thomas or Alito from the bench. There are not enough numbers to do that. And this is one of the things that I really appreciate about really looking down deep into politics. Because one thing to really consider is that this isn't a move to get them removed from the court. This is a move to make it more known to the American public what the court is doing. This is something that's been reported on in media, in particular left-wing and more liberal media, is where these issues with Justice Alito and Justice Thomas have been reported. Through Representative Ocasio-Cortez bringing these impeachment inquiries to Congress, what she is doing is putting these on a national stage. And she's making it, in a way, something that part of the Democratic Party, in a way, is going to pursue. And this is something that's really important for the electorate of America to know. This is a move that could potentially be risky for Representative Ocasio-Cortez, because it is an election year. And since she is a House representative, her seat is up every 2 years, meaning this year. This is a move about getting the message out there that the Supreme Court that we are dealing with currently, it isn't just a conservative Supreme Court. It is a corrupt Supreme Court. This is a good move. I support it wholeheartedly. And even if I do not believe that these impeachments will realistically go anywhere or do anything to remove either of these justices off of the Supreme Court, it does a lot to make sure that in future it is harder to justify these actions. And it lights a flame under the tails of these justices to make sure that they are acting properly in future so that they don't face any more inquiries, say, if the Democrats ever get in a position to really do something about it. Because right now, Democrats just outright do not control the House, even if the margin is incredibly small. In the Senate, even though Democrats control it, it is not a amount where a conviction could be carried through, even if an impeachment was passed on to the Senate, which is unlikely. This is about getting the knowledge out there to everyone. Not just people who watch the news, not just people who watch more left-wing and liberal-leaning media. This is letting the American public, in general, know what these justices are getting up to. Their corruption. Their refusal to recuse themselves from proceedings in which they have a conflict of interest in. This is a good political move. With that being said, if you like this video, you can like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Like I said, the link to the C-SPAN video should be in the description down below. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Have a lovely day. I guess with some of the recent rulings, you might get one or two more moderate Republican representatives that side with the articles of impeachment. Potentially. But I'm pretty sure the threshold for impeachment. Yeah, it's a simple majority vote. So it could happen technically, but this is one of the things that, especially in the House of Representatives, I feel like if you are a Republican in the House of Representatives and you vote to impeach either Thomas or Alito, your seat is like as good as gone in the fucking midterms. You know, like a lot of these representatives, their primaries have already passed, so they're safe this year. But like in 2026, you're fucking cooked. And for a lot of them, it's just not worth it to do it. This is actually something. Suzerain is a very good game. I might review Suzerain one day if I ever get the chance to. Wait until it goes on sale. Suzerain very often goes on sale for like $5. It's usually 20. It's worth $20. But it's one thing that the game does extremely well. It's not like, ah, yes, I am president of the country. Now I get to do whatever I want. It's like, you're president of the country. You have to play the politics game, or you are fucked, sir. So that's kind of what you have to do. And seeing a move like this, it a good comparison point is the game itself. This is a good move in terms of public perception. Doing what this does to the Supreme Court in terms of putting more scrutiny on them and breaking the perception that a lot of people probably still have that the Supreme Court is a body that is wholly nonpartisan, that is uncorrupt, that doesn't have any issues such as that. Breaking that perception is incredibly important to being able to do what we need to do to the court. If you want to pack the court, you have to make it clear that there are bad actors on the court. If you want to replace these two justices, you have to start these proceedings early, instead of when you get into power. You have to make it look like it is a move that is based more on principle, which it is in part, but also a move that has been telegraphed for a while. You have to do what you have to do. This is a very good move. And this isn't something I included in the segment, but the comments on this video are incredibly supportive of AOC. The comments on a C-SPAN, keep in mind, C-SPAN is as neutral as you can get. C-SPAN is literally just videos from Congress. There's barely a political bent. There is barely any punditry going on C-SPAN. C-SPAN is just, here, American people, here's what the fuck is going on in Congress. The comments on C-SPAN are supportive of AOC. That's insane. I'll read out some of them to you. Get private money out of government. And I quote, "Our country is not for sale. People who take bribes have no place in our government. We need way better vetting for our public offices." She's 100% correct. I hope they get the boot ASAP. I support this fearless elected representative 100%. I don't know how she does. She must... crap. I don't know how she does. The frustration she must feel working in this dysfunctional Congress. I salute her. That was worded a little weird. We need Supreme Court reform. They need to be held to a standard of ethics that is controlled by an independent body. This woman has more balls than all the men in Congress. This is what happens when Congress members are not bought by super PACs. AOC is doing her job. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, thank you for introducing articles of impeachment against Justices Thomas and Alito. None of these comments in the top comment section are criticizing arguably the most polarizing member to rise up in the Democratic Party in years. Conservatives hate AOC. We all know how much conservatives hate AOC. They treat this woman like she is Satan. And you have people on here who are, more likely than not, pretty centrist if they're watching C-SPAN. Not only centrist, but like centrist and up there in age if you're watching C-SPAN, or incredibly politically checked in, who are sitting here and saying, yeah, I support AOC wholeheartedly in this move. That's major. That is massive. Also, what AOC says in this video, very good. That's why I'm gonna link it in the actual video when that does get uploaded. But she says some pretty good shit. I just didn't want to, speak over it. It's a good speech. It's 13 minutes long. It's pretty short. Lady Ballers reference, nice. Oh yeah, Lucky Otter said this would be enough to take back the court. Technically, it would be if both of them got nuked, but it is unlikely that they do. Because we do not have the numbers to nuke them. It is what it is. Anyways, what else? I think I'm gonna do Trump running from Project 2025 last. Uh. Mmm. Man, I hate when things ask me, fuck it, it's free. Oh, I'll just give you a fucking trash ass email address. If I got no notification, I was in Zan's chat, but I want to catch up with you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Take the next step to support The Intercept's independent journalism by becoming a member. No, you said it's free. God damn it. I might donate later. I've never read The Intercept. Thankfully they're free, they just wanted a fucking email, so I'll take it. I'm not gonna lie, I read the news. Like, I have a news widget on my phone, on my home screen. I will just sit and read the fucking news. That's what I do. Politics, to me, it's not just a YouTube thing. It's not just like a, ooh, I wanna have fun thing. Politics, to me, is like it's a way of life. It is a hobby. But I don't really read The Intercept. I generally avoid the Washington Post. New York Times can suck my ass with their, oh, give us $1, give us $1 a day. We want $1 a day. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. To me personally, I think if you can, isn't there catchphrase, or is that the Washington Post? Yeah, democracy dies in darkness is the Washington Post. Does the Washington Post payroll shit? Also, in terms of, yeah, Washington Post is fucking paywalled, which is wild. Which is wild to me. How do you have the tagline democracy dies in darkness, and then you're like, here, give me money. Give me money to read. Fuck you. I would rather get fucking slammed by ads, you ass. Anyways, young warrior, do you wish to join the way of politics? God. Listen, if I could avoid it, if I could go back in time and make myself avoid it, I don't know, I would. I'd get into something more normal. Because trust me, when it's like, when the question comes down to, oh, you know, what hobbies do you have? I read the news and talk about politics. You know, it's there's only so much you can do to make that sound interesting. It makes me a decent conversationalist with like older people. Um but like when it comes to people my age, you know, among my friend group, I'm just the person that gives the political news among my IRL friend group, which is fine by me. It is an odd amount of power, actually, because like I'll get asked like political questions, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I know the answer to that. Oh fuck, I know the answer to that. It's weird as fuck being the one that's like politically informing people who are usually not politically informed, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah, people, gay furry hackers have attacked the Heritage Foundation and hacked into them. So we get an article from The Intercept here. Gay furry hackers feud with Heritage Foundation exec. Former Trump administration official, closeted furries will be presented to the world for the degenerate perverts they are. So, let's talk about it. Project 2025, you know what Project 2025 is if you're watching this. Project 2025 is the Republican plan to, fuck shit up, in short, if they are elected. Not if they are, but if Trump specifically is elected in November. It's a bad plan. It's a dangerous plan. It is a plan that cannot be ignored, and thankfully, media coverage on it has been incredibly good. Incredibly good. I am a proponent that even if you are a lefty, I'm a lefty. Even if you are a lefty, watch liberal news, watch centrist news, watch conservative news. Find out what different people are talking about and what different voter demographics know about heading into this election. Because depending on what they know about, it can change a lot about who they vote for. And Project 2025 is something that mainstream media sources have been doing an incredibly good job at sounding the alarm on, especially this early, to the point where Trump is walking back from it. Something that I'm covering in a different segment. But the thing about it, though, is that Project 2025 isn't just a plan from the Trump team. It is a Heritage Foundation plan. Heritage Foundation can be best described as a conservative think tank that has a lot of influence over policy in the United States of America due to their heavy ties to members of the Republican Party. In particular, when talking about Project 2025, we are talking about former President Trump. So recently, Project 2025 had some things breached by a furry hacker collective, and they aren't happy about it. In essence, a bunch of things were leaked. If I'm remembering correctly, logins were leaked, chat logs were leaked. It was to the point where people were tracking down IP addresses of like different, not IP addresses, but like they were basically able to geolocate where some of the information had came from, and apparently there were strong ties to China. Some people found, as we see here in this Rolling Stone article. Where it says this material, as the Daily Dot reported, and as the Heritage Foundation now confirms, came from the Daily Signal, Heritage Foundation's media site, going on, so on and so forth. The former Trump administration official in the Department of Homeland Security is also executive director of Heritage's Oversight Project, an initiative focused on border security, elections, and countering the influence of the Communist Party of China. So this is a very high up leak. An incredibly high up leak. And we can see some of the funny things that are happening here. Such as the dialogue between apparently a high up exec at the Heritage Foundation arguing with these people. Are you aware that you won't be able to wear a furry tiger costume when you're getting pounded? I'm gonna put you in next year. Via such unprofessional language from an executive director. Would you mind if I shared this? Please share widely. I hope the word spreads as fast as... Meow. Image of a cat. Bestiality is a weird sin. It shows you've got a few clicks too far in trying to satiate your deviant appetite. What's your opinion? I'm not a fucking furry, but these motherfuckers are hilarious. So, yeah. What is the notability of this? Well, as I was saying earlier, look at who's covering this. The Rolling Stone. The Intercept. If I go further and just search it up, if I search up the term furry hackers, you can see all of these things come up from Yahoo News, Newsweek, The Daily Dot, so many, MSNBC, The Verge. Apparently the Heritage Foundation is insisting that it was not hacked by gay furries. Must be pretty embarrassing to get hacked by a bunch of degenerates. The leaked DMs were gold. It's hilarious. And I think it does a lot to help us. Not only is the leaking of the data from Project 2025. Wow. I'm really out of practice. Okay. Not only is the leaking of the data from Project 2025 so big that it really hurts them, and it shows that they have extreme faults in their OPSEC. What it also means is that Project 2025, its first loss, isn't getting found out by the American electorate. They were chilling with that. They were cool. They were taking the punches with that. No, their real first damage that they take is getting hacked by a bunch of gay furries. And I think that that is beautiful and hilarious. The fact of the matter is, the people behind Project 2025 are pathetic pieces of shit. They are pathetic pieces of shit. And I guarantee you, if you believe that you would be embarrassed by getting hacked by a bunch of gay furries, these motherfuckers are 10 times more embarrassed. And I say Godspeed to the people who did it to them. It's very funny. Do I believe that you should repeat these actions? No, I don't believe that you should repeat these actions. Don't do it. It's illegal. Don't do illegal shit. I'm not encouraging you to do illegal shit. But since this illegal shit has happened technically, if it even is illegal, what I have to say to this is it's fucking hilarious. I'm having a nice laugh about it, and it seems like everyone else is having a nice laugh about it, except the people who were victimized by it. So at the end of the day, what ends up happening is, okay. At the end of the day, what happened, and it's really up to us to pick up the pieces. So, if people want, I might do a bit more of a deep dive into exactly what got leaked. I'm trying to keep these segments fairly short, as I am getting back into this space, but say if you want me to do another stream on it, I'm more than willing to. We'll see what happens. Regardless, if you like this video, you can like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You can also join the Discord, linked down below. I love you all. Thank you for watching these videos. Peace. See you in the next one. Okay, cool. Got interrupted at the end there. Okay, now it's time to go on to the final topic, and the topic that I really care about. I mean, I care about all of these topics, but this is the one, you save the best for last. Okay. So I'm going to cover this. I might do a viewer suggested segment. Maybe not. Stream tomorrow? No. Fuck no. I didn't expect to come off that strong with it. That just kind of flew out. No, I have plans. Hanging out with a friend. And then even past that, I have to... I don't want to stream 3 days in a what? 3 days in a row. Not in a woe. In a row. You can tell I'm tired. I'm tired and I'm a little headachy. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm probably not gonna end up streaming tomorrow. Dependent on my work schedule, I might do Sunday. I think it would be better to stream on a weekend. That's why I wanted to do a Friday stream. So I think it's not a toy. pillow. It's not a toy. Stop twisting that. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I might stream Sunday, maybe. All I know is that after this, I'm going to eat and take me some ibuprofen because, oh boy, I can tell this is about to be a rough headache. Also, it doesn't help that I have lights pointed, like, directly at me right now, you know. Not much more stream today. Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna try to cut it short after this next segment. I have something to do at 9. I'm pretty sure I said it on stream yesterday, but me and one of my friends have been going through and watching different series and, like, analyzing it. I not missed, but I said that we would be doing the analysis at 9 tonight because I had to clean my room. Because I do not like living in a pigsty, and I try to keep my space clean due to that. I don't like dirty rooms. I'm not trying to be fucking Asmongold here. So, cleaning my room, and then I tried and failed to fucking dual boot my Steam Deck, because for some reason, basically what I wanted to do is I just wanted to reinstall SteamOS on my Steam Deck to make it like just like a fresh install of SteamOS while I dual boot it. You know, nice, simple, clean. Just something simple. Whenever I tried to partition the fucking drive, whenever I tried to partition this shit and put the actual recovery image on this, it had a fucking stroke. It was insane. I was sitting there and I was like, why are you creating so many useless partitions? And screwing yourself. And screwing me. So I just threw up my hands. I quit. You know, I'll fucking do it tomorrow. It was insane. I'm not dealing with that when I have other things to be doing. So I'll probably end up doing that tomorrow also, which is why I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. At least you don't stumble your way, as you read, lol. That's something I do. Yeah. As a furry, how do you feel about this, good sir? Not a furry. You know, if you motherfuckers were accusing me of being, like, gay or something, that would be problematic. You know? Just carry that through. It's verbatim, people. It's verbatim. Okay? I'm not one, so I'm not one. I say I'm not one, so I'm not one. Come on, let's be nice, okay? Let's be nice. Yeah, I blew an external like that. Anyways. Yee people! Fundamentally, let's talk. Let's get down to brass tacks. If you found out that a candidate has a plan that heavily involves people who used to work for him creating it, that would basically install him as effective dictator of a country, would you vote for him? No. You probably wouldn't. And the candidate himself knows that. So Project 2025 is, as we've said before, a Heritage Foundation created plan / conservative effort to effectively give Trump the mandate for leadership. It is extremely dangerous. It's not good. And various people have been sounding the alarm bell about it very early on, which is incredibly good. This is not something that you want voters to find out about in September or October. This is something that you want voters to find out about around now. A couple of months out from the election, not far enough back that they're going to forget about it, but not so close that it's like, okay, so I can't even really find out about this. You want this baked into the voters' minds, and we are in that state now. So, when it comes down to it, if you know that people are not going to vote for you, if you are associated with a plan like this, what do you try to do if you are the candidate in question? You try to run away from it like a fucking coward. Trump disavows Project 2025, but he has long-standing ties to some key architects. Over the last week, Trump has tried to put some distance between himself and Project 2025. I know nothing about Project 2025, he said in a Truth Social post. Wow, that was more difficult than it should have been. He said in a Truth Social post Friday, I have no idea who is behind it. He doubled down in a social media post Thursday morning, saying, I have not seen it, I have no idea who's in charge of it, and unlike our very well-received Republican platform, had nothing to do with it. So, I'm gonna introduce y'all to an insane concept. He's fucking that motherfucker is lying so hard. And I'll tell you why. The architects, the creators of Project 2025 are people who, the authors of it, are people who worked heavily in the Trump administration. These are not campaign financiers. These are not lobbyists. These are not people who have, sure, a lot of influence in politics, but not enough to affect policy. These are people who worked in positions in his administration that would have had a lot of connection to him and would have a very concerted effort in getting him reelected and implementing this plan. Trump running away from Project 2025 is a very good thing. It doesn't mean that he's not going to implement it if he gets into power. If he gets into power, there's nothing that's gonna stop him from implementing it. But it's a bad look to have a plan associated with you that involves banning abortion medication from being shipped out, that involves gutting federal services and replacing them with party loyalists. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, effectively setting yourself up as a dictator of the United States of America. It's not a good look to the common electorate. And as we're getting closer and closer and closer to the election, more people know about this. I saw this in 2 videos recently. Bo of the Fifth Column, a lovely channel, talked about it. And I also believe it was CBS News. I watched a video on it. Project 2025, if you're going by Google search trends, is getting more airtime than the NFL, the Olympics, and Taylor Swift. More people are searching Project 2025 than all of those 3 terms. It isn't just people in our space of the political scene, the more left-leaning people in the political scene who are sounding the alarm about Project 2025. Moderates are learning about Project 2025. Independents are learning about Project 2025. The people that Trump needs to convince to vote for him to win are learning about Project 2025. And the fact of the matter is, it is a bad look. It is such a bad look that Trump is distancing himself from this as best as he can. He knows the people who are working on this. He denies his ties to the Heritage Foundation. For fuck's sake. In this article, they have a picture of him speaking to the Heritage Foundation. It is very clear that he has a connection to the people who created Project 2025, and it is incredibly likely that these people will have a strong amount of influence over him whenever he potentially becomes president again, depending on how the election goes in November. Former Trump administration officials who have been directly affiliated with Project 2025 include former Office of Management and Budget Director Ross Vaught, former Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller, the Defense Secretary as a position being military, high up in the military, incredibly high up in the military, arguably the highest up in the military outside of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The Secretary of Defense is an incredibly important position. It is one of the cabinet seats where you need to know who the current Secretary of Defense is. If I'm remembering correctly, the current Secretary of Defense is Lloyd Austin, unless he dropped out after some of that controversy that happened a couple of months ago. I don't remember that going anywhere, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Lloyd Austin is still Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Defense is an incredibly important position, and it's pretty worrying that a former acting Secretary of Defense is involved in this. Former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson, former Deputy Chief of Staff Rick Dearborn, and former Justice Department Senior Counsel Gene Hamilton. Vaught, one of the key authors of Project 2025, is also the Republican National Committee's Platform Policy Director. What did Trump say up here? I have not seen it. I have no idea who's in charge of it, and unlike our very well-received Republican platform, had nothing to do with it. Oh, really? Your very well-received Republican platform. Your very well-received Republican platform. That just so happens to be heavily influenced by a guy who also worked on Project 2025. Because he's the Republican National Committee's platform director. Fucking bang up job avoiding that accusation, dude. How many accusations has Trump just failed to avoid? So many. He's losing so bigly. We got so tired of him winning, but he started losing bigly. Ooh. Hold up. Anyways, while that lag is happening on the actual stream proper, that does not mean that I can... Scheiße. Hold up. Okay, we should be back. I fucking disconnected my Ethernet cable. So we are operating off of Wi-Fi. Is what it is. But... Damn, where was I? Oh yeah. The fact that Trump is trying to distance himself from Project 2025 is an incredibly good thing. He knows that this is a bad look for him. It's a very bad look for him. To the point where he's trying to disown this fucking plan and say, I had nothing to do with it. Why you looking at me? Stop looking at me, buddy. I had nothing to do with Project 2025. It's not my plan. It's not my plan at all. You just stop looking at me. So what do you do about this? With him distancing himself from this plan? I've said this before, and I will continue saying it. The worst thing he ever did as president was January 6th. It's very inarguable. The reason why it is the worst thing is because it really messaged to the American electorate that this is a man who does not care for American democracy, which is a not good thing to have attached to you, especially if you're running for the highest office of the land. It's also notable that the worst thing that he ever did as president happened in his lame duck period. The election was already passed. We do not know exactly how Trump's handling of January 6th will affect him electorally in November. We have a couple of indications that it definitely hurt him. In the primaries consistently, you had a contingent of about 10 to 15 to even 20% of Republicans in some states voting for Nikki Haley in the primaries. And it was a consistent trend. Even after she dropped out of the race, you got a couple of primaries after that where she was still pulling those numbers. It went down since she dropped out, but she was still pulling a decent amount of numbers. And fundamentally, Trump lost 2020 because he didn't have the votes. If he wants to win, he needs to gain votes. Having Project 2025 associated with him is only going to make him hemorrhage and hemorrhage and hemorrhage and hemorrhage votes. That's why he's trying to run away from it. So, what is your responsibility as a viewer? As someone concerned about Project 2025? Don't shut up about it. That is your job. Be annoying about it. Well, even not necessarily annoying, but make sure people know. If you're talking to a friend who's not really politically active, just be like, hey, you heard about that Project 2025 thing? And then they'll be like, no, I actually haven't. What is it? And then you get to explain to them, okay. So, the Republican Party currently has a plan in which they will just be taking everyone out back and just clapping cheeks. Just absolutely clapping everyone's cheeks. If you have rights, your cheeks are being clapped, okay? You're losing all of your rights. It's gonna be insane. And they're gonna look at you and they're gonna be like, I don't want to have my cheeks clapped. Boom! Someone else knows. It's that simple. Inform people. Tell people about what's going on. Your family members, your aunts, your uncles, your sisters, your brothers, if they can vote. Everyone. They need to know about what will happen if this passes. About what this entails. And about what they can do to stop it. Which is by voting against the Republican nominee this year and voting for Biden. May not like it, but you know what I like least? You know what I like less than voting for Biden? Having Trump in office. With Project 2025 enacted. I'm gonna hate that if that happens. So I'm gonna hold my nose and I'm gonna vote for the fucker. Gonna vote for Biden. Do what I have to do. But hey, at least this Project 2025 shit is gonna be delayed. And then we can all get back here later when it's Project 2029. But you know what? I'm gonna say the same shit then. Because we don't need something like this to pass. It'll be the end of American democracy if it does. Act accordingly. With that being said, if you liked this video, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, join the Discord link down below. I love you all. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Gotta hit the stop recording button. Anyways. Hello from Asheville, North Carolina. Are you a fellow North Carolinian? My fellow North Carolinian person? Do you eat the bojangles too? Do you shop at what is it called? Food Line? Do you shop at the Food Line? Do you eat the Krispy Kreme donut? Do you drink the cheer wine? Do you support the Panthers? I don't even support the fucking Panthers. They fucking suck. I'm kidding. I don't watch sports. I actually don't know. Yeah. Regardless. I'm glad everyone enjoyed stream today. Like I said, I will more than likely stream on Sunday. Hopefully when I'm getting not view cucked. Wanted to keep it short today. It was thankfully short today, so I'm gonna make me some food and get ready for this analysis call, which should be fun. So yeah. Thank you all for watching, as usual. Sorry to end so open and quickly. I would like extend it with a video game, but I lost my fucking... What do you call it? I lost my capture card. It's been a while. I wanted to say SD card because I've been dealing with a lot of SD cards today, but I knew that wasn't right. I lost my capture card. Don't know where it is. Got lost when I was fucking moving shit around. It happens. So hopefully whenever I find it, we can get back to gaming. But with that being said, I love you all. Wait, before you leave. Do 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 do. But a little da 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 da. Gonna see if I can raid anyone. 'Cause I don't leave without a raid. We're gonna raid. Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, everybody. Go to zenderhall.com/live and tell him that Pillow sent you. I can't sing. Bye.